Our first Sunday of Advent reminded us to be patient. This second Sunday of Advent, we light the flame in hope that oppression will be dispelled. In this holiday season, may the darkness of winter be dispelled in this festival of lights, and may ignorance be dispelled in the strength of compassion, reason, and sharing.
How good and pleasing it is for people to sit together in unity. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
The name of the story is Latkes and Applesauce, and it's by Fran Munashkin. It happened long ago in a village far away, where there lived a little family named Menashe. Papa and Mama Menashe were tailors who had two children, Rebecca and Ezra. Rebecca and Ezra were wonderful children who helped their mama and papa. Every year, when it came time to celebrate Hanukkah, they dug up potatoes to make the latkes, and they picked the apples for the applesauce. But one year, winter came suddenly, and snow began to fall. Not a lazy flake or two, or a little bit of a flurry. No, this was a tremendous blizzard. And when did this furious blizzard begin? The first night of Hanukkah, of course. Come, sunset is upon us, Papa called to his family. It's time to light the candles and celebrate the Hanukkah miracle. So Papa sang the blessing, like Jessie did, and Rebecca lit, Papa sang the blessing, and Mama lit the shamas, and Rebecca lit the first candle. Ah, they sighed together at the beautiful light. And Papa set the Hanukkah menorah in the window so all could see its glory. Now, Papa said, for the next 8 days we shall celebrate the miracle of Hanukkah with feasting and gladness. Bring on the latkes and applesauce. Papa said Mama. "The blizzard has swallowed our feast. All of the potatoes are buried in the snow. And as for the apples, this year we had so few." "No latkes," Papa said, and his bright eyes dimmed. "Ah, then, we'll just sip our soup." So sitting closely as birds in a nest, Mama and Papa and Rebecca and Ezra sipped their soup together. Then they sang a joyful Hanukkah song with the wind whistling along through the walls. Perhaps they sang the song the choir just sang. "Shh," said Rebecca suddenly. "I hear someone crying." Rebecca opened the door a crack, and in walked a tiny orange kitten. "Mew, mew, mew," the kitten cried. Rebecca quickly patted her dry with a rag. "Papa," said Rebecca, "this kitten must have seen our candles." Mama filled a tiny dish with milk. After the kitten lapped it up, she purred and fell asleep in Rebecca's lap. "Now, Rebecca," said Papa firmly, "we must return this kitten to her mother." Rebecca shook her head. "Papa, this kitten hasn't got a mother. No mother would let her kitten wander alone in a storm." "Yes," agreed Ezra. "That is why the kitten was crying. And since you said we mustn't be sad on Hanukkah, I think we should keep this kitten." "Sad? A cat?" Papa pulled on his beard. "A cat is one of God's creatures," declared Mama. "Of course we will care for her." Rebecca leaped up and hugged her Mama. "What shall we name her?" "A name should fit as well as a glove," said Papa. "Take care to name her well." "I will," said Rebecca. "But right now I want to play dreidel." And the little kitten spun the dreidel too. And when the candles burned out, the family went to bed. On the second night of Hanukkah, the snow came down even harder. Again, Mama lit the candles and Papa placed the Hanukkah menorah in the window. And again, the family sat down to their soup. "I'm not complaining," Papa said to Mama. "I like soup as much as you. Oh, but I'd love to wrap my mouth around a latke." "Ah, miracles have happened before," answered Mama. "Remember." "Shh," shouted Papa. "Did you hear that noise?" It was a shrill bark right outside the door. Ezra leaped up and opened the door a crack, and in walked. What came in? A skinny brown dog. "This dog looks as hungry as a bear," said Ezra. He scooped the last drumstick from his soup, and the dog quickly gobbled it up. Ezra praised Papa. "You're a generous boy, but we cannot keep this dog. We have hardly enough to feed ourselves." "Think you're going to let him keep the dog?" "Let's see." "But Papa, this dog is starving, and you said we must feast on Hanukkah." "Feasting? A dog?" Papa pulled on his beard. "Ah, well, a dog is one of God's creatures too. Let him stay and share what we have." Ezra leaped up and gave Papa a hug. "I will think of a good name for our dog. A name should fit as well as love." And that night, the dog played dreidel with the kitten. And when the candles flickered out, they all went to bed. On the third night of Hanukkah, the snow was still falling. Mama sighed. "Our soup is dwindling like a burning candle. If the snow doesn't stop soon, we'll surely starve." Now," said Papa, "where there's life, there's hope." But on the fourth night, as the snow kept falling, and Papa repeated these words, and he did it again on the fifth night, when bread was all they had, and on the sixth and seventh, when they only had crumbs. But on the eighth night, the skies began to clear. "I see that. Let's go out and gaze at the stars," Papa said. "Perhaps they can help us forget our empty stomachs." So everyone pulled on their sweaters and coats. The kitten and dog already had their coats, and they rushed out on ahead. The dog leaped around in the moonlit snow. He leaped and ran and sniffed and he dug. Papa, asked Ezra, why is our dog digging? Ah, it's in a dog's nature to dig, said Papa, stepping closer to admire the dog's work. But all of a sudden, Papa gasped, oh, what a world of wonders is this? Our dog has dug up. What do you think he dug? He dug up potatoes. Potatoes in the snow, shouted Mama. It's a miracle. We will have latkes tonight, said Papa. Mew, 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 came a cry from up above. Papa gazed up. Our kitten must have climbed up our tree. Why is she crying? Rebecca asked. Papa answered, it's in a kitten's nature to climb up, but it's her nature to cry, to come down. And it's in a person's nature to help her. So quickly, Papa tucked his sweater into his pants and began climbing up the tree. After slipping and struggling and huffing and puffing, he reached the highest branch. Come here, little kitten, he said. And he picked her up and tucked her into his sweater. Then sitting far out on a limb, Papa called, oh, how beautiful is God's creation. What do you see? The children said. What do you think he saw? Maybe. You were right. Apples, my children. Your Papa sees apples, red and round, hiding their glory in the snow. Apples, gasped Mama. Apples still on the tree. A miracle is happening here. Apples are always a miracle, said Papa, and he carefully tossed them down. Quickly, they all rushed back into their warm house. Mom and Papa peeled the apples and potatoes, and in the oil she had wisely saved for Hanukkah, Mama fried so many latkes they were heaped up high, a golden treasure. Before the family sat down to eat, they sang a joyful song as they gazed at the final Hanukkah candles. Papa, Ezra said, I have decided to name our dog, what do you think? Latka, because he found our potatoes. Good job, Rue. Wise choice indeed. That name fits like a glove. And our cat's name is, oh, really loud, what do you think? Applesauce, exactly. Because she found the apples, said Mama. And Mama and Papa and Rebecca and Ezra and Latka and applesauce ate latkes and applesauce as much as their bellies could hold. All right. We will now sing you off to class.
Our reading this morning is titled A Hanukkah Prayer for a Time of Darkness by Marla Baker. Creator of all, in the beginning you made the night sky luminous with the light of the moon and the stars, and you made the daytime bright with the light of the sun, and saw that it was good. And you created human beings in your own image with capacity to distinguish dark from light, with capacity to create holy sparks, see into the shadows. All right. And shine light where it is dark. And you saw that it was very good. Creator of all and rock of ages, in the time of the Maccabees, once more you worked a miracle of light, permitting our ancestors to rededicate holy space. And it lasted 8 days and 8 nights. Creator of all and rock of ages, in the dark of night, at the darkest time of year, we light candles in remembrance of the miracle, one more each night until there are 8. Creator of all and rock of ages, too many lights have been extinguished. The world has grown too dark. Creator of light and dark, teach us once more to see into the shadows, to shed our light in all the dark corners, and to create holy sparks for all humankind, so that once more we can say, it is very good.
Thank you, Julie. The word Hanukkah means rededication. As I looked this up, the Rabbi Dana Rutenberg advised me, this is what it means no matter how you spell it. It is the time when the Second Temple in Jerusalem was not only defended, but rededicated, re-sanctified, made holy again. The miracle that is described in the Talmud is the one that brings us the annual ritual of the menorah. That in the temple there was only enough oil to light the lamps for one night, but it lasted for 8. Creator of all and rock of ages, too many lights have been extinguished. The world has grown too dark. Creator of light and dark, teach us once more to see into the shadows, to shed our light in all the dark corners, and to create holy sparks for all humankind, so that once more we can say, it is very good. How deeply we want to look at the world and say it is good. How deeply we want to look at all of humankind and say it is good. We are good. We are caring and cared for. We want all light to be miraculous, the light of truth, the warmth of the home fire, the blessing of sunlight that brings forth new life and growth. We want all darkness to be nurturing and creative, the dark of the womb, the space where we weave our dreams, where we cast our eyes to guide our way and make our wishes. The beautiful dark of rest, the beautiful light of awakening. And yet we know there are other ways of being. There are times we look at the world and we weep. We look at all these candles, all these candle holidays. What a beautiful pluralism that we behold today, the light of our chalice, of our Advent wreath, of our menorah, and the candles of all of those matters most important to us, so many of them shared today. I am glad and grateful to our amazing lay leaders and members of our beloved community who are both Jewish and Unitarian Universalist for thinking deeply on how to celebrate this holiday today in this complicated and challenging time, and for allowing me to be a partner in some of those conversations and in this celebration. I am grateful to you. Thank you, Jesse, for the beautiful words of the blessing that lit our menorah. And thank you, Mary, for sharing that beautiful story and the food. Thank you. And that brings to mind that miracle, that unexpected gift of joy and wonder that this season can hold. We don't know what's coming. It has just as much chance of being something amazing as it does of being something terrible. We hold many faith traditions and personal spiritual journeys within Unitarian Universalism, and that can be among the most beautiful expressions of faith and seeking that I have known. And it can be a lot. It can be hard to hold. When we look at all of these holy symbols, all this sacred fire, it is valid to ask, does this honor all of these traditions? Or is it reductionist, cherry picking, asking us to select only that which pleases us? In the context of the sources of our faith, Unitarian Universalists have sometimes been accused of wanting Easter without Good Friday. The specific idiom arises from Christianity, which is one reason that we have chosen to celebrate Advent this year. There is more to the Christian season of Christmas than Santa Claus and presents. There is, as we talked about last week, waiting and preparation. And when we consider this week in the middle of Hanukkah and within the idiom of Judaism, we might consider it this way. Are we looking at the tail of the oil in the lamps, or are we choosing not to look at the war and strife that is at the heart of the tale? In a reflection written last year for Hanukkah, and she has written updated reflections for this year in the light of all that is going on, and I encourage you to seek those out if this is of interest to you. This is the Rabbi Dana Rutenberg, again, wrote this last year. A mature adult faith demands that we take in difficult, painful facts and allow them to become a part of our understandings of God, of our language of faith, and of connection. Part of adult faith is being able to look truth in the eye, to take responsibility for it, and to not get stuck by the fact that it is not an easy story. It's not easy to hold all of these. When we take in the story of Hanukkah, a feat of military victory, we must also take in the world around us. And we have had candles lit, and we carry this in our hearts, and I have had conversations, and I know we all consider this. I do not have the knowledge, the ability, nor the time to distill the history of the land of Israel and its people. I know that history and politics are so important and are not the heart of the hurt the world feels deeply at this conflict. They are there. They are part of the not easy story. But what we want to remind ourselves with each candle that we light is of the human hand that lights it. War is a foundational, fundamental human act. And it is foundationally and fundamentally fraught, immoral, causing grief and suffering on every side, causing despair and anguish and pain. And we, humankind, we contain all this complicated truth. I wish for no one ever to invade the lands of another again. I wish for no one ever to decide that one group of people deserves life any more than any other group. I wish for hatred and fear never again to manifest in the world as violence. And I know that I wish these things in direct response to the real and inhumane ways that humans have treated other humans from time out of mind. This is not an easy story. All these candles gathered here for Hanukkah, for Advent, for all our joys and sorrows. The light of our chalice, the symbol of our faith, was chosen because it was an image that Unitarians in Europe in the 1930s and 40s used to help mark safe passages for Jews to escape from the murderous oppression of Nazism. A mature adult faith demands that we take in difficult, painful facts and allow them to become part of our understandings of God, our language of faith and connection. We hold the challenge with the celebration. We light a candle in memory of a story that contains more than one truth. The truth of a military victory and also the truth of an unexpected, unlooked-for gift. The truth of the rededication of a sacred space. Creator of all and rock of ages, too many lights have been extinguished. The world has grown too dark. Creator of light and dark, teach us once more to see into the shadows, to shed our light in all the dark corners, and to create holy sparks for all humankind, so that once more we can say, "It is very good." Too many lights have been extinguished. The world has grown too dark. We pray for peace. We pray for peace in the face of hatred and oppression. We pray for peace and safety for every person threatened by war. We pray that the holy sparks we may create together will warm us and show us the way, even when the way is rocky and the air is cold. It is a defiant act to speak of the joy of unexpected gifts in this time. But we must speak joy, manifest joy, create and revel in joy now more than ever, because we can see how good it is. Even more so, we can see how good it can be. The profusion of candles up here could be seen as a hodgepodge, or it can be seen as an invitation. This is the work of meaning making in a mature faith. To understand when we might want to pick the easiest path, but instead to choose to look for the truest one, even if that means facing hard things. The act of imagining a world where all light is warming and growing and all dark is creating and resting. The act of imagining a world where everyone has enough food, has access to clean water, where everyone can live safely and love who they will. A world where there is abundance, not scarcity, health, not harm, love, not fear. We get to look at these candles and say what we are lighting them for. We are lighting them to honor the past and to kindle hope for the future. We are lighting them to remind ourselves how good the world not only can be, but is. Look and see how good it is. Look to your neighbor, to your friend, to your beloved. Look to each person and see not a stranger, but a spark. Not someone to fear, but someone with hopes and dreams built in the dark, working to bring them into the light. See the miracle. Choose to see the miracle and know that it is good. So may it be.
Please join us in extinguishing our chalice and your home chalices if you have lit them with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
May the prayer that is on your lips and in your heart and working through your hands this week be one of peace. So may it be.